What brought you to China?
To be honest, bro,
What made you want to move to China?
I had a friend back in Oman.
他会不会有点后悔，就让我去那么远的地方？
After I graduated in the UK, I worked as like a civil servant for half.
And there's a lot of opportunities. You can easily see that they're putting a lot of money on every.
What are some suggestions for foreigners who want to visit China?
I think being abroad in general is for a certain type of person because
A lot of times it will be maybe different Asian countries that you will be thinking about. Oh, should I move to Japan, Korea, or
Hello guys, this is Aiden from China. So for this video, I'm going to interview a few friends why they come to China and what made them actually stay in China. I'm going to dive deeper into what their perspectives about China. I hope will be useful for you if you're planning to come visit. So less talking, let's go. 可以简单做一个自我介绍吗
OK， 我叫耶果，来自乌克兰，在中国已经待了15年。然后我现在的工作是做主持人，做媒体，主要是在央视英文频道主持，就是纪录片这样子。
什么类型的纪录片？
就是这个纪录片是主要是关于中国的文化，非物质文化遗产。我们去不同的地方，然后采访当地的一些能人、一些传承人什么的，对。
这是我想做的事情。
是吗？
真的。
我以前就是有一系列节目叫《中国制造》，然后我们就中国去了，比如说建地铁，就是包括高铁、汽车，然后我们就看中国是怎么做这些东西，特别的壮观。对，特别。
我们从问题开始，就是
请说，
为什么会选择来中国？
其实最早我还不太了解中国。然后我父亲就是我上大学之前让我选择中文专业，他说你以后中国特别厉害，很牛，未来特别灿烂，你一定要学中文。后但是爸我不要啊，他说不要我不给钱。我说那行，完了以后开始学中文，当时有一次机会有个交换的项目，然后我用那个 program 就来到了中国的江西，然后就特别喜欢。我觉得中国人特别热情，在江西也就很单纯，然后我觉得中国确实发展的那时候也特别好，然后就觉得哇，这个未来应该就在这边。
多年以后，你有问过你父亲，为什么当时他这么看好中国吗？
我问过，我说爸，你为什么喜欢？他说他们经济好啊，他们以后肯定是不得了，这个世界地位会很高。因为我现在不是离得远嘛，我就觉得他会不会有点后悔，就让我去那么远的地方。他说你安全我就很开心，然后你在中国很开心，我就更开心。
当时是哪一年他提出想让你来中国
？08年，大概07年吧。08年我已经来了，那他那个时候已经看好中国，厉害不？
确实
挺好的，
有先知的能力。
他是做外币兑换的，所以他对这个金钱就是把这个外币啊，他就分析的比较好，就看人民币那个时候一直在涨。可能是这样。
Can you do a self-introduction?
My name is Gustav. I'm 29 years old. I've been living in China for 5 to 6 years, and I'm South African.
What brought you to China?
To be honest, bro, I was working quite a hard 9 to 5, and I never really had any gaps. So I decided for myself that I'm gonna take a gap here and travel like Southeast Asia. Somehow I was lucky, just landed in China, and it worked out from there, I'd say.
Was it pays pretty good, huh?
It does pay, bro. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Does it like being an English teacher pays way better than office work?
To be honest, it depends. To be honest, I think that if your work in a factory is related to bringing in income from other countries, if you're directly, like for example, marketing or working with clients, then you could expect the same kind of salary as what teachers are expecting. But if you're, for example, if you're a qualified engineer, stuff like that, I think it's not similar, but it's somewhere there. But if you're just doing like general work, now you're far out.
Like being an English teacher is like the best salary if you don't have any talent or like special else, I guess.
If you wanna put it that way, but it's a special talent to teach children, bro. I'll tell you that it's quite hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. No hard feelings.
No. I understand what you mean. It is true. If you don't have any qualifications, for example, even if I were to work in South Africa for 10 to 15 years, with my qualifications, I could not reach this kind of salary at all, which doesn't make sense to me. And the cost of living here, and just like it all just comes together. It's a really, really good place to live. To be honest, I don't think anyone really knows what's going on in China.
What exactly is going on?
Yeah.
Sandus, can you do a self-introduction?
My name is Sundus. I'm 29 years old. I'm Palestinian Canadian, and I moved to China in 2021.
What made you want to move to China?
I had a friend back in Oman in 2019 that had lived in China for about 2 years. And she told me that she had the best experience of her life. And when she moved back to Oman, she actually regretted leaving China. And I actually knew nothing about China at the time because obviously, like, where do you ever see people talk about China anywhere on social media, at least in a positive way? So she shared her adventures and her photos and her videos, and she helped me apply. But I only made the decision in 2021. It was very difficult coming here because it was during COVID times and people thought I was crazy. Like, why would you want to go there when there are like COVID restrictions and lockdowns and stuff? And I was quarantined for a month and a half, but it was really worth it. It was really worth it. Now I don't want to leave. Now I want to stay here.
What are the top 3 things you like about China?
Top 3 things. I would say the peace and quiet. I like that. I like the diversity. It kind of tricks you because like people think that, I mean, there are a lot of similarities among Chinese people in different provinces and different cities, definitely. But at the same time, because I've moved a lot, I was in Guiyang for a period of time. I moved to Shandong, I was in Wuxi, and then I came here to Hainan. And you can tell there's a lot of diversity among people from different cities and different provinces. The culture for me is something that I enjoy because it's very similar to our culture, to Middle Eastern culture in a way, especially the family values, family life, gatherings, community, which is something that I really appreciate. What else do I like about China? So I said peace and quiet, community and culture. For me, I like the way that people have pride in who they are. They have pride in their culture. They don't try to be anything else. And they're also very welcoming, especially to foreigners. They're very, very welcoming, very interested and curious in a very good way. They ask a lot of questions.
Hey guys, nice to meet. I'm Steven. I'm South African. I've been in China for 5 years now, and I've been in Asia for 9 and a bit, so nearly a decade.
What decision made you want to move from Thailand to China?
I was getting too old to just be partying like Thailand parties, and China pays really well. So I wanted to make like an adult move, get something good on my CV.
What's something you wish you know before you moved to China?
COVID is coming. That is actually a cool question. Let me think on it quick. I wish I was just ready for how hardworking China, just how hard people in China work. I think I would have done better and I came from Thailand, very laid back, very relaxed. And when you come to China and you work in China, you grind for your money. You work really fucking hard all day. Yeah, that's just a very hardworking place, and you got to keep up with it.
Can you do a self-introduction? Like, where are you from? Why you moved to China?
Yeah. Okay, well, hello everyone. My name is Sofia and I'm from Russia. I came to China to study Chinese because when I was in university, I just fell in love in this language. And yeah, I decided to come to China to have a practice, like language practice. And I stay here for 12 years already, yeah. So I'm having my business. It's already the second business that I opened here. The first one in Xiamen, where I lived for 10 years. Yeah, and I moved to Wanning just a half year ago because my boyfriend moved here, and the surrounding that they have, environment, it's very healthy. It's such a good vibes here, you know, so you can really enjoy and have good life here in Wanning. And it's also like a development area where they're building so many things right now, and there's a lot of opportunities. You can easily see that they're putting a lot of money on everything. They're really building the big infrastructure on the back, like train stations, the nice roads. It's gonna be good. Maybe this just takes time, but Chinese, you know, development skills are crazy big. So there's nothing to complain about. They are really doing their best.
Why did you choose Xiamen for your first city, and how do you like Xiamen?
Because my classmate we're here, and yeah, I just graduated my university. He calls me to work there to try, so I wanted to experience myself, also to live in some other country. I've been in some big cities and small cities. I travel all around China for so many years. Yeah, I think really Xiamen is very well organized, and you really feel that people love the city. They're taking care of it so much.
Thanks for your time.
No problem.
Can you do a self-introduction?
Yeah, sure. My name is Elliot. I've been in Zhuhai for 6 years. I work as an English teacher for adults here.
Where are you from?
I'm from the UK, near London.
What brought you to China?
Well, after I graduated in the UK, I worked as like a civil servant for half a year. I found it really boring and thought this isn't what I want to be doing long term. So my plan was just to bounce around a few different countries and maybe teach English and do some other things. The first country I came to was China, and actually I liked it a lot, so I just decided to stay here rather than move around.
Actually interview other people too, like China happens to be the first country and you just like be here forever.
Yeah, I guess that happens a lot, right? The plan is just like a gap year maybe, or 1 year, but they like it here, so yeah, why not stay?
As a foreigner, like people kind of look in you differently. Like, was it like a good experience for you, or like it's kind of some overwhelming?
I've always had a positive experience. A lot of people they don't even notice, but a few people are kind of curious, and if they see somebody who's a foreigner, they're just curious to know like where they're from and how their background and lifestyle is maybe different in other countries. So yeah, I get a few people who just want to chat and invite me out for lunch or a coffee just to talk about this kind of thing, culture and so on. And I'm sure that's something I wouldn't enjoy if I was like in the UK. So I think that's a benefit of being here. You meet some people who are really friendly and curious.
Is Zhuhai your first city here?
No, I first came to China in 2015 and I was in Wuhan for 2 years working at a university. And that was the first city. And then I came to Zhuhai after 2 years and I've been here since then.
Why did you choose Zhongshan?
It's the first city that I came to when I got here. I think this is just my personal opinion, but I came here and to be honest, the language barrier is already so massive. So once you start like just getting to know your streets a little bit and getting to know a little bit of stuff around, then you don't really want to move, because you have to learn all these Chinese words and you have to learn how to speak to people. So it's kind of like, okay, you get comfortable with where you are because it's already kind of hard to adapt, right? So that's what happened to me. I just stayed because I was very comfortable where I was and I didn't see a point to leave at all. So I've only been here since the beginning.
Interesting.
我刚去了一趟英国，然后我特别有这样的一个感受，就是比如说我们去英国，我们肯定能找到一份比较普通的工作。那么你在那边做，比如说我们去做服务员，或者我们去做就是接待的或者服务类的工作没有问题，然后你肯定可以在英国租好房子，然后在那边生孩子都没有问题。但是我就想，那我为什么要比如说回到中国？不一样，因为你这儿好像是你做意义的事情的空间大，可能在英国你可能要生活一辈子，你的下一代才有这个资源去做有意义的或者能影响社会的事情，或者。但是我当然也很难说吧，你可能很幸运，但是我猜啊，大概是这个样子。但是在中国，它这个机会很多，所以空间也很大，这挺好。
赞同。
赞同。
You've been in China for 12 years, but how come your English is so good?
Actually, that's the question, because I studied Chinese much more faster than English. I studied English maybe 4 years ago, but like I was able to speak English, and I have like an English-speaking community. But I study Chinese more faster. I think it comes to me easier than English.
Do you have a 小红书 or WeChat channel account?
I have 小红书.
I'm gonna take you. So if you guys are interested in opportunities in Hainan, you can come and find her.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, Sophie.
Thank you.
For people who want to come visit China, whether for like study, travel, work, giving some tips.
Well, I would say that if you come to travel in China, you've got kind of two choices. One is you can enjoy like the really modern shopping malls and cities, stuff like that. Like in this city alone, in the last 6 years, there's been like 4 or 5 new shopping malls, and they're all like really modern and clean and nice. So there's that really modern side you can enjoy. But then there's also like the cultural stuff and the older neighborhoods like where we are now. You can see some traditional buildings and some kind of cultural things. And actually they're like really close to each other. Like where we are now is really old and traditional, but on the other side of the road is like a modern shopping mall. So you can like enjoy both things at the same time. And there's a lot of natural scenery as well, like even in the city, there's rivers and mountains like all over the place.
Considering like living in China for good?
I'm not sure really. I think being an English teacher is a good job to do while you're young. So like long term, when I get a bit older, I'm not sure if it will always be a suitable career, but I've definitely planned to do it for like as long as I can, however long that is. And I've got colleagues who are like 40, 45 years old, even older, and they still enjoy their jobs. So yeah, maybe long term for me.
Are you up to something new?
No, although I've moved to a new country, actually I prefer to be pretty settled down. You know, a lot of people like traveling and moving to different places, but I found out pretty quickly that I like a kind of stable situation. Like I enjoy my job, I'll stay here for as long as I can.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, my pleasure, man.
What are some suggestions for foreigners who want to visit China?
I think being abroad in general is for a certain type of person, because you need to be strong, you need to be a level of independence, you need to be a level of crazy, you need to be just a person who can be out of their comfort zone without their family, and something goes wrong and you've got to be able to just suck it up. China obviously has kind of distanced itself from the rest of the world, so the cultures are far more black and white than other places I've been, like Thailand has a Western influence. Not right or wrong, it's just that it's very noticeable, the culture shock of being far more different than other places, because there's more influence of the Western world on other places, whereas here it's a very unique culture.
As someone who travel and live in so many countries, what are your advices for Chinese audience? Like if they want to live in another country, like what if like they don't speak English?
I think I wish everyone had the opportunity to travel abroad, because it really does open your gaze on how how little things matter. It's like every place I've gone has a way of thinking, and to them that way of thinking is just the way the world works. And then I grew up thinking a certain way, and then I moved here and I realized that the people who grew up on that side of the world don't care about what every single thing I grew up as concrete, yes, this is how it works. And then you travel to another place and you realize every place has tried to figure out the best way to move forward as a culture and as a society, but no one has an exact yes or no answer to how to live and to how to run a culture or society.
This is such a good life lessons like you share with us. 我们做一个英文的问题。
Oh yeah, sure.
What are some advice for foreigner who wants to come to China?
So I think if you are thinking about maybe choosing some countries, a lot of times it will be maybe different Asian countries that you will be thinking about. Oh, should I move to Japan, Korea, or China? And my advice is, if you want to go and have like a spicy, unconventional experience, you have to come to China. If you're afraid of like Asian culture, or you're like more reserved, go to Korea. Korea is more Western, I think. Yes. Yeah, in some ways.
Also Japan.
Yeah, Japan is closer, it feels like, to the Western world, but it is still like very many Asian rules, many Japanese way of doing things. But in China, in that aspect, it's very free going. It's not as filled with boundaries. In China, not many people will, tell on your behavior, or like, oh, don't do this or do that. In Japan, everything is strict, tuck, 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 tuck. But in China, it's more relaxed. It's easygoing. Chinese people are really friendly. They would love to, become friends with you. Whereas in Japan or Korea, I think it's more distance. I don't know. Anyway, no, Korean were very friendly, and Japanese, but I think Chinese people are more friendly. But I'm biased, so. So I if you want to have a spicy experience, yeah, just come to China. So many things to see, so many amazing stories for you to experience.
Awesome. That's very good.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, you know, I have so many friends that that are foreigners. They come to China, even though maybe their spouses are, you know, foreigners as well. They still love being here. There are some things, aspects, you know, some education or schools, maybe some problems they have to deal with. But once you're accustomed and you're used to the way system works, it's really good.
I guess that happens to every country, like every new country you ever visit.
Yes, yes, yes. Like including when this time I visited UK, amazing country, like love it. But there's certain systems and things that, for example, if you want to go to the hospital, you have to have an appointment in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks in advance. Otherwise, you have to pay a lot of money. But this is the way the system works. And you know, if I haven't found the best way to deal with this system, then it's going to be very inconvenient. But when you get it, yeah, I think it's fine.
So that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoying it so far, and thanks for watching so far. What else would you guys want to know about China? Just leave in the comment below. Last video was about interviewing foreigner women living in China. Was it safe for them? And what are their interesting experience about China? If you haven't subscribed, go for it. And also welcome to follow me on my Instagram. I have some thoughts like living in another country takes a lot of courage. You gotta be brave, you gotta be suck it up, whatever happens to you. Myself traveling abroad for more than 5 years, and I'm back in China because I want to be around with my family, and also want to do this YouTube channel thing. But later I am planning to travel like half in China, half abroad. That's my reason living in China, because I was born here. And I think for Asian cultures, we are very focusing on family. So it's actually like the society will require you to stay with family. You have to be close with them. That's what the society is about. So talked to another friend the other day. He's South African, and his girlfriend is also South African. I asked him, where would you guys raise your children? He said they're gonna go back to South Africa once they have a children, because they want the baby to grow up with a family. This might be interesting content, I think. So I'm going to interview a lot of people about everything. For example, was it like dating in China? Was it like married in China? Was it like married to a Chinese woman or a Chinese husband? Dude, got so much to do. Gotta go. See you guys.